many things at once. It's my pick of the show. I mean, would there have been a question if you shop jewelry with me? You know, more is more. You know, and I don't mean like in an ostentatious sense. I mean, like, give me, much like Jill was talking about with the wrist stack. You know, not excess just for the sake of it. It's because it's just so beautiful. You can't get enough. And this is, we're calling it technically the graduated gemstone band ring because there are many stones. But to me, it is like the instant ring wardrobe in one piece that is comfortable, beautiful, and it has what I love, the combination of sparkle and luster and artisanship, but it's not too busy. We're asking a lot of this small piece of jewelry and it delivers, including a price tag that just makes me go, how do you not, right? $189.98. We'll start off by saying again, for the richness and the heft of this, we're going to size up one.
Yes. And it is a solid band. So again, when you take this out of your package, you're going to be like, wow, this really feels like good jewelry. Yeah. But yes, I would recommend going up from your normal size.
All right, so we have white topaz. Next to that is your garnet. And the garnet, for example, 2.9 carats. The white topaz, 2.9 carats. Next to that is your blue topaz, 2.9. And your citrine, absolutely stunning, 2.2 carats. Okay, lots to talk about. Sizes 5 through 11. Jill, I mean, I could just, oh, I love it because it's so beautiful, blah, 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 but like there's more to it.
Oh, there's so much to it. So first of all, I love those close-ups you were seeing of the gems. I'm going to start there for a second. This is Gem Day on QVC. You are getting 7 gemstones that are all cushion cut. Look how closely we've set them together. But most importantly, what I want you to look is the consistency in color from the smallest stone, which is down, you know, kind of as the band starts, to the largest stone in the center. There is complete saturation and color matching on every one of those stones. Here's what you need to understand. Garnet especially, the garnet over here, garnet can be tricky because sometimes the larger they are, the darker they become. The smaller they are, the more washed out they can become. And look how we have matched those stones to perfection. So that right there, if you're a color lover, a gem lover, come on in. Then what did we do? We wanted to give you that look of stacking, but all on one ring. So you didn't feel like they were spinning around on you. So we start with our hammered beads. We've never done this kind of hammered bead idea on a cast ring before, Jen. So that's what you have on top and on bottom. And then, so that's the top and like that's the bread in the sandwich. Then we add some layers. We add our basket. It's a thin layer, almost like you would do like handmade wire if you were looking at artisan crafted jewelry. That gives you texture and that gives you oxidation. So we've given you reflection and faceting with the hammered. We've given you texture and oxidation. We've given you sparkle with these gems. And I do want to point out, I'm going to sit this back now. It does taper in the back, everybody. But again, it's still a pretty wide band. But what we did make sure is even though that it fits, you know, nicely and you want to go up a size, it tapers at the right spot so I can open and close my hand even though I'm wearing this bolder piece.
It tapers at the right spot and the stones stop at the right point.
Yes.
So you don't feel prongs,
very good
you don't
point.
feel stones
Thank you.
in between. There's a lot of look packed into like a really a dense presentation. But make no mistake about it, nothing's fighting with anything else. No. Those stones, they're the crown jewels. They're the ones that are really doing the singing. Yeah. And that sterling silver is, well, speaking of crown jewels, it's the crown. If you think about a crown itself and how, you know, you can't overlook or ignore the metal presence in that. Once again, if I put my finger right here and we just talk about this as a sterling silver stack ring, where they're all assembled for you, they never shift and move, but you always have an instant wardrobe on your finger at $189.98. I love it, especially if it has the J name. When we add those stones, though, we are now elevating the language to like bridal level. Yeah. And especially when you're looking at that white topaz. Maybe you're thinking about that as your anniversary, as your travel set. If you're me, it's like, that's great. It's Tuesday afternoon and I just feel like buying something beautiful piece, right? 5 easy payments of $38, and we have left the halfway mark of our inventory in the rearview mirror quite some time ago. All right, so let's recap your choices. Your best bet is QVC.com. Click your size, your ring size first. This is also one where I wouldn't hesitate to maybe wear on a different finger and size up one if you want to do that. Here it is in white topaz. The garnet, again, I just have to chef's kiss like the selection of garnet in this show from this brand. There it is in the sky blue topaz. If any stone was going to go quiet amongst all that silver, it would be a sky blue topaz, and it does not go quiet.
I think you could almost even pass that off as aquamarine.
I agree.
Don't
I agree.
you?
And the
Yeah.
white topaz you can pass as diamonds.
Right?
And then there is your citrine on the end, which be still my heart. I love citrine because in summer I think of it as a summer stone, and in autumn I think of it as
Yes,
an autumn
agreed.
stone.
Yes, it's that golden hue, right? So it's the golden, sunset and sunrise, and that's that beautiful golden color that we see when the leaves change in the fall. Such a beautiful, earthy neutral.
5 dozen remain in the citrine. That's kind of been the story of everything in our show. And if I look to my tray or Jill looks to hers, we could close our eyes and pick various pieces from the show and go, oh, that goes great with that.
Yes.
That goes great with that. Our one time only, same choices we had in the bracelet and in the necklace. And if you're lucky enough to get one of the last few that remain, every shot of this gets better than the last. And I think, as with any stone, it isn't just the cut, because if you have a cut on a really dull stone, it doesn't matter. You're not going to bring anything out, no matter what you try. If you have a great stone and you cut it poorly, it doesn't matter how great the stone is, it's going to go dull. And here we've got everything working for us. Color. Cut, I'm actually going to say like cut squared, because we have not just the soft edges of the stone itself. The checkerboard faceting on top just makes it so that even when you are sitting perfectly still, like Sheila is, it still sings.
Look at how
Perfect
pretty.
model pose
Yeah,
there, Sheila.
That gorgeous blue is so pretty. When I had a chance to meet with one of our sort of stone cutters, and they take a look and sort these stones by hand to begin with. So they're taking all these rough stones and saying, all right, what shape is it going to become? As they said to me, Jill, the stone tells me what shape it wants to be, which I thought was fabulous. So again, we're sorting that. Then we're making sure we're doing the right cutting. We're making sure that it's the right scale. What you may not realize is, with some of these stones, you have to have a pretty wide girdle around the stone before you can start to do more cutting. So, it starts bigger than you'd expect to get to this point. And as you're doing that, you never know if you start cutting into it and it's like, oh, this one looks a little pale, throw that one out. So to be able to bring this to you, it would have been a feat to bring it a 3-stone ring. It would have been fantastic to do 5 stones. The fact that we were able to match this so beautifully and give you that real, almost a hint of an eternity band look across the top of your finger, so that all you see is this archway of sparkle and color, that's what Jay is all about. It's why you've fallen in love with this brand. It's why I fell in love with this brand. I know that whether it's design, silver work, gold work, gemstone, I know I'm getting the best of the best.
100%.
And I think this is a spectacular piece that shows that so beautifully.
I think you and I are similar in how we fell in love with this brand, because it was like, oh my gosh, we haven't forgotten how to make true luxe jewelry. Like the first time you put it on, you go, oh, it's back, baby. And if you feel like, in your own life, you've kind of stepped away from it, or everywhere you go, it's just, you feel like you're seeing the same thing over and over again, and the only way to get something different is to spend thousands of dollars. Enter a $189 laughable price point on something that is so chic and elevated. We started with 700 of these. And Scott, how many do we have left then? Well, let's break it down. So if you want the citrine, 2 dozen left.
Wow.
Sky blue topaz, 4 dozen garnet, 5 dozen remain, and the white topaz, 3 dozen. All of those could easily go just in the minutes following our show as people continue to order. So $38 will get it home. I don't even have a gram. This is the first time I think I've ever wished I had a gram weight on a ring.
On a ring, yeah. Because again, like what Jen was saying, what I always love, and I've always thought about this as far as the QVC customer is concerned, you're willing to spend the money on a piece of jewelry as long as when you get it at home, it feels like you really got something for your dollar. And I know that when you open up this J box and open up that green pouch, you will say, the J's were right. This actually feels like that designer jewelry I've always wanted to own.
So true. All right, so there it is. It's J434205. I'm going to give you a look at something that we will not have time to give a full presentation to. But
Coming up with Jane tonight.
Is it
I
now?
have these with Jane.